Get wrecked.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Wrecked Wednesdays, the show where Big Papa Daddy Hunter destroys and obliterates little right-winger Hunter with facts and logic. The video we are going to be looking at today is this one, actually, triggered by Trump election reaction. This was my video that I published right after Donald Trump won the election. This is after I had voted for Donald Trump, so you can imagine I was so excited. I was in a state of constant euphoria and bliss because I just triggered the libs so freaking hard. And yeah, this is the video that resulted out of all of that. Published November 10th, 2016. Now over 500,000 views. Wow, I don't think I'm going to dislike it or like this one. I think I'm going to go into this one a little bit more neutral. So let's go ahead and see what young little Hunter has to say about the election 2016. Thoughts and opinions.
We did it, America. We frickin' did it. Everybody said that Donald Trump couldn't win.
Okay, before we get into the Donald Trump circle jerk thing, can we first just talk about how little and tiny and cute I look? I look like a young little lad that should be running around the church grounds.
I supported Donald Trump and was mocked and ridiculed because of it. Yet here we are.
Yet here we are now. You supported Donald Trump, you were mocked and ridiculed because of it, and now, 4 years later, you're being mocked and ridiculed by you for voting Donald Trump.
By electing Donald Trump, we the people have chosen to give the biggest middle finger to the establishment, to the lying bias media with all their bullcrap polls and predictions, to the liberal agenda, and to social justice warriors everywhere.
Let's go ahead and dissect that part, because that might sound like just a quick little part of my rant here, but that's actually really telling. First of all, Donald Trump very much postured as someone who was anti-establishment. He acted as if he was this big populist, this guy who was for the people, but when it came down to it, Donald Trump had always been a part of the establishment, and even throughout 4 years of him being president, he just continued to benefit the establishment. First of all, before Donald Trump was running for president, he had talked openly about paying money to politicians. He was lobbying politicians to benefit himself and his own wealth. He was part of the establishment then, and even as president, he cut taxes on corporations and the wealthy, and in multiple different instances, he used his presidency to fuel his own private businesses. So yes, Donald Trump was part of the establishment. He benefited the establishment as president. So what I say about the polls being wrong, that is true. A lot of the polls were really wrong. They made it sound like Hillary Clinton had this in the bag. There were a lot of different reasons why this could have been. It could have been that like undecided voters at the last minute just decided to vote for Donald Trump. It also could have been that people were really hesitant to acknowledge that they were going to vote for Trump when they were being polled. I think there are a lot of different reasons there. So yeah, I guess that one part kind of correct, but it doesn't really make sense to like vote for Trump on that basis alone. But then I proceed by saying we also gave a middle finger to the liberal agenda and the SJWs. This is why people who vote on the basis of this meaningless culture war bullshit end up looking so stupid. What does that mean? Give a middle finger to the liberal agenda? How did Trump actually do that? He did his 1776 commission to combat the 1619 Project, which was a private company's editorial publication, and Trump tried to combat that with legislation in public schools. I mean, Donald Trump tried to involve himself in the culture war, and he ended up looking extremely authoritarian. This is why you should always vote for someone based on policy at the end of the day, not based on this meaningless culture war stuff that triggers you on Twitter.
By electing Trump, we the people have said that we want an end to radical Islamic extremism, to illegal immigration. We want our jobs back.
All right, finally, now I'm talking about a little bit of policy here, so let's see.
An end to radical Islamic extremism.
Radical Islamic extremism. Okay, maybe I'm talking about supporting the Muslim ban thing.
To illegal immigration. We want our jobs back, and we want to see America thrive once again. Can we?
Okay, first of all, unemployment was steadily going down at the time that I made this video. unemployment has been steadily going down since around 2010. It's an economic fact that the economy always comes back stronger after a recession. So after the recession in 2008, the economy started coming back stronger and stronger, and unemployment was dropping consistently. So this narrative, I want our jobs back and our country back, like, it sounds so uneducated because statistically at the time, we had low unemployment. Unemployment was steadily declining. It had been at that point for the last 6 or 7 years. And as far as the immigration thing goes, the undocumented immigration population has been steadily going down as well. You can see here, according to Forbes, starting in 2010, it was over at 11.7 million. Throughout the years that Trump was president, it just continued to go down at similar rates as before. So again, this didn't really age very well. Like, Trump didn't really do anything.
Hillary Clinton, you had practically the entire media backing you.
Okay, this whole part is based because, like I said, in my book, shitting on Hillary Clinton is always okay.
Right now, at this point, I think that half the country is kind of like this. And then the other half is a lot more like this.
It has to be a joke. I do not believe this is happening. I literally am gonna die. I need an ambulance.
It's just so much funnier now because, yes, this is fucking cringe, all right? You shouldn't melt down into a PTSD-riddled puddle when your preferred racist politician didn't win the presidency. Back in 2016, the right was clowning on people like this. Current year, we have to clown on right-wingers who got so triggered they tried to commit a fucking insurrection. You know, in the grand scheme of things, this whole video is just one big poorly aged thing.
Progressive social justice leftists who are such bigots, they are protesting.
The whole world is watching! The whole world is watching! The whole world is watching!
Rioting.
F Donald Trump. Okay.
And some of them are even burning the American flag.
Okay, hold on, wait, stop. Why did I call them bigots? It almost sounds like I didn't know what the word meant there. Okay, so I'm not sure why I call these people bigots. Like, I might not agree with them, but they are executing their constitutional right to protest. Remember how this year the right committed a fucking insurrection, though? Because they got so triggered?
And some of them are even burning the American flag.
Trigger warning. Trigger warning, a piece of cloth is on fire.
To be completely honest right now, the people who burn the American flag are selfish, ungrateful, wastes of human life. And no, I'm not gonna take that back because I mean it 100%.
Okay, I'm willing to take it back now. Because what if I'm one of the people burning the American flag now? That was a joke, guys. It's okay. It was a joke. I actually kind of agree that the optics overall of burning the American flag, probably not great. But at the same time, it's been ruled by the Supreme Court that burning the American flag is a constitutional right. It's the right to freedom of speech.
Thing is, though, this country is a free country.
Thank you.
So technically speaking, you are allowed to burn the American flag.
Yes.
But if you really hate American values so much, why don't you just leave the country? There's a lot of other great places that would love to have you, like,
here we go.
Like Saudi Arabia.
Uh-huh.
Why don't you go to Saudi Arabia, call me.
Okay, the very, very typical boomer argument. You don't like something about the country in which you have lived your entire life? Well, why don't you go somewhere else? Like to a country that's not as nice as the one that you don't currently like. Got 'em! Does anybody watching have the ability right now to just pack their bags up and head off to a different country if they decide they don't like something about America? No. Like, I couldn't do that. No one can really do that. So it's just illogical altogether. You might not agree with the optics of it, but at the end of the day, it's a piece of fucking fabric, okay? People are allowed to burn a piece of cloth if they want to. And a lot of the times conservatives try to get up on their high horse and act really morally outraged. They say things like, our veterans died for that flag. No, they didn't. Our veterans died for American values like freedom of speech. I think it's almost more offensive to reduce what our veterans fought and died for to nothing more than, oh, they fought and died for a piece of fabric. Also really funny how a lot of the right gets really mad about people burning the American flag, but then they also committed an insurrection which like tried to undermine American values. People are allowed to protest, the country they live in. And if they want to burn the American flag, it doesn't mean necessarily that they hate every single thing about America. It might mean that they're mad about certain policies or they're mad about certain aspects of America that, again, you might not agree with, but they have the right to protest it. So basically, America's so great. We have freedom here. Freedom of speech. Yeah. But if you speak ill against our country and use your freedom of speech, well, why don't you just go somewhere else like Saudi Arabia, where they don't have freedom of speech? It's entirely contradictory logic.
So many claim to be offended by Trump's rhetoric that was caught on the Trump tapes. They were all so offended that Trump would say something sexual like that. And yet, those same people, those same Hillary Clinton supporters, proudly sing along to Jay-Z lyrics at a Hillary Clinton rally.
Okay, so there's absolutely selective outrage that exists on all sides of the political spectrum. There's also something starkly different about the then candidate for the most powerful position in America talking about using his power to essentially just grab women whenever he wants to versus singing along to rap lyrics that are inappropriate or sexually explicit, but are at the same time a form of art.
You have those people who claim the election was, you guessed it, racist.
This was a white lash. This was a white lash against a changing country. It was a white lash against a black president in part.
Listen,
Okay, calling it a white lash, really cringy sounding. The optics of these people is so bad. But at the same time, I mean, there absolutely is some truth to the fact that anti-immigrant and racist sentiments largely fueled the Trump vote. That's just true. Like, this can be analyzed here. This study was done with multiple different surveys and different data points here that found that anti-immigrant sentiment and racist resentment played a role in people's choice to vote for Donald Trump. So, calling it a white lash, stupid, dumb, not really true, makes it sound like the white people are all bad. But, like, it's also not really hard to understand that Donald Trump garnered the support of pretty racist people also.
and I know you want it to be one so badly, but it's just not. People voted for Trump because they were sick of the establishment, the media, and so on.
Okay, yeah, why would people be voting for Trump because they're sick of the media? Donald Trump isn't going to be able to do anything about private media companies. And if you're voting for a president to do something about the media, then you might be getting a little yikesy.
People wanted change. Secondly, it was Obama's last term, so he would be out of the White House anyway. You could use your exact same argument if Hillary Clinton had been the one to win.
It makes it so easy, even for my small little brain back then, to just like kind of dunk on these points because their optics are so stupid, so bad. They explain everything so poorly, making it out to sound like people just voted for Donald Trump because they had this economic anxiety or they wanted to change or whatever. It doesn't make sense. It's a proven fact that racism and anti-immigrant sentiment played a role, at least, in getting Donald Trump elected. That's the nuanced point here. Not that it was a white lash, and not that it had nothing to do with race. It's probably somewhere in between. After all, enlightened centrists speaking over here.
I also know that a lot of people are very scared right now, but I'd like to just say, don't be.
Now I'm about to say something that sounds really lib-cucky and bad for optics, so trigger warning, but I do kind of sound like a privileged white guy right here. Don't be worried, man. There's nothing to be, no worries, dude. This just further confirms my hypothesis that anyone who sticks an American flag up in the background of their videos, they drop a good amount of IQ points. Well, there you guys have it. Another episode of Hunter Rex Hunter, your favorite anime. Please give this video a like, comment below, and subscribe to the channel. Thanks everyone for watching, and I'll see you all soon. Peace.